put Thailand in the global context. People doing this research will hear about Mexico, Panama, Japan. How does Thailand stack up against those other hubs?
This comparison is so important because it really shows why Thailand has found this sweet spot.
Welcome to STEMCIERGE, your global concierge for advanced regenerative medicine. Here, we explore the science and breakthroughs redefining longevity and human performance, giving you clarity, confidence, and trusted insights as you navigate stem cell therapy around the world. Let's begin our deep dive.
So advanced medical treatments, things like cutting-edge stem cell therapy, they often feel like they're just over the horizon, the future of health. But for most people, they just hit this wall. It's either the staggering cost or these impossible wait lists or, regulations that just block access completely.
Yeah, a wall of inaccessibility. That's a good way to put it.
And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive today on what's becoming a leading global solution to that problem, Thailand. So our mission here is to give you the ultimate shortcut to being well-informed. We're going to unpack the costs, the science, the regulatory side of things, and really give you the safety playbook for this very specialized field.
And that safety playbook, that's everything. It's probably the single most important thing you'll take away from this because, Thailand offers this incredible mix of quality and access.
Right.
But that accessibility also means the quality can vary a lot. So our focus has to be on finding that one critical factor, the thing that guarantees safety.
Okay, let's unpack this then. And let's start with the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
The cost.
Always the cost.
The immediate hook is that Thailand offers top-tier regenerative care for, 40 to 70% less than you'd pay in the U.S. or Europe?
That's the number, yeah, 40 to 70%. It's a huge driver for medical travel.
But that's also where the suspicion comes in, right? A price cut that big, you immediately think they must be cutting corners somewhere.
And that's the critical distinction. It's affordability, not a compromise on quality. And the reason they can do it is structural. They have a really mature medical ecosystem.
What do you mean by ecosystem?
Well, we're talking about internationally accredited top-tier private hospitals. Think places like Bumrungrad or Regenerative Bangkok Hospital.
So these aren't small clinics?
Not at all. These are major medical centers running these programs, and they're supported by these state-of-the-art GMP-certified labs. Plus, and this is key, the doctors are often Western trained. They speak perfect English, they follow global best practices.
And they've figured out the logistics for international patients. It's not just the treatment, it's the whole experience.
Exactly. They've perfected it. You get clear treatment plans. They help with travel, accommodation, English-speaking coordinators. It's a seamless process.
So the lower operational costs in Southeast Asia let them offer that price without sacrificing the medical standard.
That's it. That's the formula.
Okay, that brings us to the next big question, the legal status. We hear about treatments available there that are restricted elsewhere, and people just assume it's a cowboy market.
The Wild West?
Yeah. The sources call it a regulated middle ground, but what does that actually mean?
That's a really good question, and the skepticism is healthy. But Thailand's system is very deliberate. It's not a free-for-all. You have two main categories of treatment. First, you have the fully approved standard of care stuff. This is mostly in hematology, bone marrow transplants for leukemia, things like that. Heavily regulated, done in major hospitals.
That's not why people are flying halfway around the world.
No, they're flying for the second category, the innovative, or let's be clear, experimental uses. That's your orthopedics, autoimmune conditions, longevity protocols, that kind of thing.
So those are allowed?
They are, but, and this is a huge but under really strict conditions, it's a framework designed to allow innovation but within clear safety lines.
What are those lines?
Okay, so 1, it has to be done in a licensed medical facility. 2, they can only use specific approved cell types, mostly what are called mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs.
Right.
3, those cells have to come from a Thai FDA-approved GMP-certified lab. And 4, the patient has to give explicit consent, acknowledging that the treatment for their specific condition is considered experimental.
So if a clinic is promising a guaranteed cure and doesn't mention the word experimental, that's a huge red flag right there.
A massive one. It means they're operating outside the legal framework. And this whole system is overseen by the Thai FDA, the Ministry of Public Health. They do audits, they crack down on illegal providers.
So they're looking for things like uncertified imported cells or those those spa IV drips you hear about.
Absolutely. The framework is there specifically to protect patients from those exact fly-by-night operations.
Okay, that sets the stage really well.
Yeah.
Let's move to what you said is the most crucial part.
Yeah.
The cells themselves, the quality, the type. This is where the patient has to become an educated consumer.
Yes. This is where you have to know what you're asking for. In the best clinics in Thailand, they primarily use two types of cells. The most common for systemic problems are UC-MSCs.
Break that down for us.
Umbilical cord-derived mesenchymal stem cells.
And why are those the go-to choice, especially for something complex like an autoimmune disease?
They have three big advantages. First, they're extremely potent. They're sourced from umbilical cord tissue donated after healthy birth, so the cells are young and powerful.
Okay, so potency is number one.
Number one. Number two is their effect. They have very strong anti-inflammatory and immunomodulatory effects. Basically, they're great at calming down an overactive system.
Which is perfect for autoimmune conditions or even general anti-aging.
Precisely. And the third reason is safety. They are safe for what's called allogeneic use.
Meaning from a donor.
Right, from a donor. They have very few markers that would trigger an immune rejection, which makes them almost universally usable.
So they're potent, they're effective, and they're logistically simple because one donation can help many people safely.
You've got it. The alternative is using your own cells, which is called autologous.
And those usually come from bone marrow or fat tissue.
Correct. And here's the trade-off. Immunologically, they're perfectly safe because they're yours. There's zero risk of rejection, but their potency drops off a cliff as you age. If you're 65, your stem cells are 65 years old. They just don't have the same regenerative power.
So autologous is maybe better for something localized, like a knee joint. But for a whole body systemic issue, the youthful UC-MSCs are the better tool.
That's the core distinction. It's a risk-benefit calculation you make with your doctor.
We should probably touch on exosomes too. The sources point to them as a huge growth area.
They are. Especially for aesthetics and anti-aging. They're basically tiny signaling vesicles from cells, not whole cells themselves.
That sounds...
No.
Which usually means less regulated.
And that's the caution. The regulation around exosomes is much less mature. If you're even considering it, you absolutely must demand proof that the product is Thai FDA approved, and you need to see the purity and sterility tests.
So avoid the vague, unverified stuff.
Avoid it like the plague. It's one of the biggest risks in the market right now.
Okay, so let's get to the guarantee. If you don't see this walk away rule, what is the single document a patient must demand to see?
It is the Certificate of Analysis, the COA.
The COA.
This is the non-negotiable safety standard. It's like a birth certificate for that specific batch of cells you're about to receive. Any reputable GMP-certified lab will provide one for every single treatment.
And if the clinic gets defensive or says they can't show it to you,
you thank them for their time, you turn around, and you walk out the door, period.
Just a quick break. This episode is brought to you by STEMCIERGE. If you're exploring stem cell therapy or evaluating clinics around the world, visit STEMCIERGE.com and take the free quiz to receive your personalized assessment. You'll get expert feedback on your eligibility, treatment options, and potential destinations, empowering you to make informed, confident decisions in the world of regenerative medicine. Visit STEMCIERGE.com today. Now, back to the episode.
Okay, so you have the COA in your hand. What are you looking for on that piece of paper? What are the non-negotiable data points?
4 crucial things. First, and maybe most important, is viability.
Percentage of living cells.
Exactly. It needs to be 85 to 95% or even higher. If viability is, say, 70%, you're paying a fortune for a product that is almost 1/3 dead biological waste. It's ineffective and can even cause inflammation.
Wow, so that's the difference between medicine and just expensive saline drip.
It is. The second metric is identity. This is confirmed by a test called flow cytometry. It's a high-tech way to make sure the cells in the vial are actually therapeutic MSCs and not some other random cell type.
Okay, so you know they're alive and you know they're the right kind of cell. What's next?
Third is sterility and endotoxin testing. It just has to be clean. No bacteria, no fungus, no contaminants. This is basic safety. And fourth is documented ethical sourcing that traces back to the lab.
Any one of those missing is a deal breaker.
An absolute deal breaker,
Yeah.
especially viability below 85% or any question mark on sterility. It's a catastrophic failure of quality control.
Demand the COA, verify the viability. Got it. Okay, now that we have the safety playbook, let's talk about what's actually being treated. Where does the evidence show the most success?
The The strongest category, without a doubt, is orthopedics, musculoskeletal conditions.
So osteoarthritis, chronic back pain, tendon injuries, that sort of thing.
Exactly. The MSCs are used there to reduce inflammation and help kickstart tissue repair. And what patients can realistically expect is reduced pain and, measurable improvements in mobility. It's often paired with other things too, like PRP or physical therapy.
Okay, now what about the more complex systemic issues? Autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or MS.
There, the goal is totally different. The focus shifts to the MSC's immunomodulatory function, their ability to calm down that overactive, confused immune system.
So you're not rebuilding a joint, you're re-regulating the body.
You are. And the expected benefits are things like fewer flare-ups, lower inflammatory markers in your blood work, maybe even relying less on your standard medications. But, and this is important, the results really depend on the stage of the disease.
It's about management, not a cure.
Management, absolutely. And then you have the third category, which is neurological. Stroke recovery, Parkinson's, TBI.
This sounds like the most experimental frontier.
It absolutely is. I have to stress that. These applications are highly experimental. Thailand offers very structured protocols, sometimes with injections directly into the spinal fluid, plus intensive rehab. But the outcomes here are the most variable of all.
Okay, so with all that in mind, who is the ideal candidate for this kind of medical journey? What should their mindset be?
The ideal candidate has to have realistic expectations. They have a chronic but manageable condition, like mild or moderate arthritis, not someone who's already bone on bone and needs a joint replacement tomorrow.
Medically stable, I assume.
Very stable. No active infections, blood pressure under control, and critically, they have to be seeking functional improvement, better mobility, less pain, getting off some meds, not a guaranteed cure.
A good clinic would probably screen for that, right? They'd turn away people chasing a miracle.
The best, most ethical clinics absolutely will. This is about improving quality of life. It's not a magic wand.
That's a really important distinction. Let's ground this in the numbers. What are the cost realities in 2026? What does a high-quality program in Thailand actually cost?
The range is pretty wide because the treatments are so different. For something simple, like a single orthopedic injection into one joint, you might be looking at around, say, $3,000 to $6,500.
Which is often less than just the insurance deductible for a similar procedure in the States.
Often, yes. Now, if you move up to a multi-day, high-dose systemic program for an autoimmune condition.
So we're talking 100 or 200 million cells via IV.
Right. For that, you're typically in the range of $10,000 to $18,000.
Okay.
And then for the most advanced neurological protocol, especially with that intrathecal delivery and rehab, costs can start at $12,000 and go up to $20,000 or more.
What drives that big price difference? Is it just the clinic's reputation or is it the actual science?
It's the science and the labor. The biggest cost drivers are, 1, the total cell count. More cells cost more to produce. 2 is the delivery method. A simple IV drip is way less complex than a skilled doctor performing an intrathecal injection.
And the cell source itself matters, I guess.
Of course. The GMP-certified UCMSCs that go through all that rigorous testing and documentation, they just cost more than taking a patient's own fat and spinning it down in-house. So if you see a price that looks too good to be true...
It is. It's an alarm bell. They're cutting a corner somewhere, probably on the lab quality or the viability that's on that COA.
That's almost always what it is.
Okay, let's zoom out. Put Thailand in the global context. People doing this research will hear about Mexico, Panama, Japan. How does Thailand stack up against those other hubs?
This comparison is so important because it really shows why Thailand has found this sweet spot.
Okay, so walk us through the spectrum.
At one end, you have Japan. Japan has the absolute highest regulatory standards in the world. Safety is paramount, but it's incredibly expensive. Access for foreigners is very limited, and they focus mostly on autologous, your own cells.
So Japan is for when safety is the only factor and money is no object.
Precisely. Then you have Panama. They're known for having some of the most advanced lab tech and purity standards, truly research-grade stuff.
But also more expensive.
Oh, yeah. Often 2 to 3 times more than a comparable program in Thailand. That's for the person who wants the absolute pinnacle of cell purity and is willing to pay a major premium for it.
And then there's Mexico, which is right next door to the U.S. market.
Mexico is the most accessible geographically, but it's also the highest risk.
Yeah.
The regulation there is just very uneven. There are some excellent clinics, for sure, but the chance of running into a low-quality, high-marketing operation with questionable safety is just significantly higher.
The due diligence is all on you.
Massively. And when you lay all that out, Thailand just emerges as this incredible all-around option. It balances strong regulation, high-quality labs, affordability, and that comprehensive patient experience better than anywhere else in the world.
And it's not just medical tourism for its own sake. The sources point out this is all built on a foundation of real university research.
Yes, at places like Mahidol University, Chulalongkorn, they're running studies in orthopedics, stroke recovery. They're even helping develop the country's regulatory frameworks for these advanced therapies. It shows a serious long-term commitment to the science.
Not just a quick buck.
Exactly. And that scientific backing is what allows for such a confident patient journey. It's a structured process. You send your medical records for a pre-trip assessment. You arrive, you have your consultation, you go over your personal COA.
You see the proof. Yeah.
Then you have your treatment days, maybe with other therapies like hyperbaric oxygen to boost the effects. And it's all followed up with telemedicine monitoring when you get home. It's a professional, holistic process.
Fantastic. Okay, let's bring this deep dive home. The key takeaway for you, the listener, seems to be that Thailand has really created this powerful convergence of quality, safety, and importantly, affordability in the regenerative medicine space.
That's the big picture, yes. But the final thought has to be this. The success of your trip and your safety hinges entirely on the quality of that cell product and the clinic's transparency.
It all comes back to the COA.
It all comes back to the COA. The single greatest tool you have is the knowledge to demand it and to understand it. The viability, the identity, the sterility, that data is what separates a calculated medical decision from a huge financial and physical gamble.
That knowledge is empowering no matter where you go. So here's a final thought for you to mull over. As Thailand keeps advancing its research and its smart regulations, how long will it be before this successful, affordable model starts putting real pressure on Western medical systems? Systems that currently restrict access with sky-high costs and slow-moving regulators. The whole economic and ethical future of this medicine could very well be shaped by the pragmatic approach we're seeing right now in Southeast Asia.
It's a fascinating question.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope this gives you the clarity and the confidence to take your next steps.
Thank you for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, then share it with someone who may benefit from it. For global insights and personalized guidance on stem cell therapy, visit STEMCIERGE.com to receive your tailored assessment and explore your treatment options with clarity and confidence. And as always, remember, this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Please consult your doctor before making decisions about your health. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered with STEMCIERGE.com.